What's up, guys? It's Jacob and Michael, and we're back to talk to you guys about our journey part four. So, in the last video, we were talking about what had occurred in our business from about August of 2019 to February, the end of February of 2020, right before COVID hit. We had a lot of growth, we had a lot of success, had a lot of fun, and it was a pretty crazy time for Michael and I. A lot of exciting things, kind of a crazy time. But now that we've spoken about that, we're going to talk about basically March of 2020 to May of 2020. And what happened in March was COVID. So right around the first week or right after the first week of March, COVID happened. And that obviously affected us a lot because we run a digital marketing agency that helps gyms and we generate them leads. So all of our clients ended up having to shut their gyms down. So they were forced to shut their gyms down, and it sucked. It really sucked for us because we literally went from having over almost $80,000 a month in invoices, and it went from that to zero. So it was pretty weird. It was a very unusual experience because it was like we spent the last year and a half, trying to create a successful business, and we felt like we did. And then that happened, and it was like, oh my gosh, is this real? Is this real? So that was pretty crazy. And so what we're going to talk about is what we would have done differently, because I feel like we made a lot of mistakes during this time period, and how we could have maybe done some things differently. But ultimately, we ended up okay. You make mistakes and you learn from them. But I think that during this time, we could have done things a lot differently. I think just talking about it, we'll kind of be able to see what we think we could have done differently. But it was just such an unusual time period, and we really just didn't know what to think. And even once it did happen initially, I was pretty happy that it happened, actually, that all of our gyms had to shut down, just because I was exhausted. I was so tired from just being overwhelmed with business. Michael and I were both handling so many things that when it did happen, it felt like a weight had been lifted off my chest. And it felt good. I could breathe easy, I could sleep easy. I remember I wasn't so kind of uptight and aggressive. I was just way more relaxed, just because there wasn't so much pressure. Whereas before there was so much, and I was holding myself to such a high degree of professionalism and just seriousness. And when you do that, it can be hard to have fun and just kind of enjoy yourself, which is a big deal. If you're not enjoying yourself, you're going to end up burning yourself out. So you can talk about the start of what you think, because honestly, dude, it's such a weird situation, just because it's like, I think we should have done things differently. We could have done the online play. We could have tried to do that really good, but at the same time, it was like, what really could we have done? Because gyms were seriously shut down. We didn't own a gym. We didn't know, we couldn't have, you know what I mean? It was just such a weird, I honestly don't know what we could have done different, just because it was such a weird situation.
No, I mean, I agree. It was like you were just saying, there was just so much pressure on us on a daily basis, while we were even sleeping, that when COVID did hit and all of our gyms had to pause, it felt like there was some type of pressure that was literally taken off our chest. And it felt nice, it really did feel nice. I mean, I remember wow, I don't have to worry about X, Y, and Z while I'm sleeping. I don't have to have fucking nightmares about it and then wake up thinking it happened. I don't know, but it was nice. I mean, it was crazy. And also, like you said, there's really not much we could have done, just because we didn't have the authority and experience of being a gym owner. So it's not like we could tell our clients, hey, let's try this online play, when we never even tried selling it, or we never had any experience with it. So like we've talked about in all these videos, I think it's just as simple as, you learn from your mistakes. And if we didn't go through that experience, then we wouldn't have known to level up and kind of pivot in a different direction. And I think it was, obviously it wasn't good that we took a break for 2 months, or not even taking a break, but.
Yeah, because do you want to so let's back up. So once this all happened, once COVID happened, shoot, dude, I remember we went to a party literally the night, like when this was all happening, and our clients were emailing us like, stop the ads, freeze the service. And I was like, holy crap, this is insane. Like, is this seriously happening? And Michael and I got hammered this night. And so we're getting these emails and we're like, is this real? Like, is this actually happening? And so I remember waking up the next day and it was like, dude, like, yeah, this is crazy. So we felt good just because we were able to take a break and take a deep breath. But what we ended up doing was I saw a course advertising how to create a YouTube channel and make money off YouTube. And so I watched this webinar and I thought, oh my gosh, this could be awesome. All our gyms are shut down and we're literally like burned out on the marketing agency thing. We're just burned out on it at this point. Like in my mind, I'm like, can we try something different now that we have an opportunity just where we really aren't doing anything? Like,
yeah, so 100%. And sorry, not to interrupt you, but to add to that, we even thought about selling our business because we were so worn out.
Yeah.
Like we talked to our mentor about it for a good time.
Yeah, we were even considering that just because we were like, dang, this is ridiculous. This is just insane. So we ended up getting this course and started learning about that and started doing it. And it was kind of cool. We actually ended up making a YouTube channel that got like 2,500 subscribers in like a really short period of time, which was interesting, but we stopped doing it because it was not fun. It was pretty stupid and a waste of time, that's for sure. But I think so that's what we ended up doing is we thought, it's not like we totally said, screw business. We thought, here's another opportunity and maybe we could do that. But looking back on it, I think it's like niche hopping. It was not the thing to do because you've got to be disciplined to just keep getting better and better at what you're doing. Even if it's no longer exciting or whatever, like that's where the true players stand out. Is they continue to stay excited and passionate even after a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 10 years. They continue to have the same level of excitement that they did the first week that they started learning about stuff.
Because new opportunities present itself within that time frame.
Yeah. So I think looking back on it for me now, I think it would have been smart because we actually did buy a course that was specific to marketing. Sam Ovens, we bought his thing.
Yeah.
But I think looking back on it, it would have been smart if we had started reading books on marketing and like what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
If we had spent those 2 months and decided, you know what, we're going to read like a book a week. We're going to read a book a week or 2 books a week and just try and learn as much as we can. Who knows if that would have been a good decision or not, but I think it probably would have been a better decision simply because we jumped ship. We basically said, forget that. Let's go to this totally different thing that's completely unrelated. There's no relation to it at all. Like YouTube channel and a digital marketing agency that helps Jim get leads. Like totally unrelated. So
100%.
I think it would have been a better idea had we have just not abandoned ship and basically niche hopped and got shiny object syndrome.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened.
Exactly.
So, but it's a lesson learned because at the end of the day, it's like maybe we'll be confronted with a decision like that in the future again, and that's going to provide us with good knowledge and insight to just know, like, look, the people that stick around are they're the experts. The people who have been in this game for a decade, they're the experts. The only way you can get there is if you stick around. Like seriously, it just all comes from experience. So if you want to be the top of the game, it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take a long time, and it's going to take you
Years.
staying disciplined and just continuing to do the same thing and getting better and better and better.
Over and over and over again. Yeah. I mean, those are all good points. I would agree with everything you said. And our mentor even mentioned it today. It's like, he said he's even niche hopped. He's like, don't fucking do it. It's insane. Like, you know how hard it is to grow 3 companies to 8 figures when you could only just focus on one and scaling that to beyond? Like, he even said that himself. So it's just a lesson learned. Like, I mean, in the future, it's an opportunity, like something, because as business goes on, you're going to keep getting more and more great opportunities, and they're going to be harder and harder to say no to.
Yeah.
So you have to be
get
disciplined.
great, better and better ideas on how
Yeah.
to make more money.
Yeah, and you just have to.
And
You have to
ultimately,
avoid it.
you can make money with all of them, but you can't make money with all of them at the same time.
Exactly.
You just can't.
No. But yeah, I mean, when you're at a certain level, when you see extremely successful business owners like Ed Mylett and Tony Robbins, like they have the money and knowledge to just invest into a business and let someone else actually like make it successful, not them actually be so involved with it. But I mean, I think, yeah, those are all good points. I think we bought Steve Muffins course. I think we should have definitely done that as far as just learning stuff that we needed to learn. Like, we knew we needed to crack some type of acquisition system. We knew we needed to crack paid ads for our business. That would have been a great time to do that, like an amazing time. That's why we bought Steve Muffins course, actually, was to do that and figure out how to make a different service for our clients. And we just didn't utilize that course at all. But I mean, it's a huge lesson learned. And again, like we keep saying, if we didn't go through that experience, it actually would have made our journey worse in the future, because we would have made that mistake further on ahead, which would ultimately push us a lot further back. So I'm glad that we actually made that decision and experience this early on, you know, because if we didn't, we'd be fucked, honestly.
Yeah.
Because it's just like people can tell you so much, but you just have to experience it. Like, we can tell you all this stuff and tell you not to do it, but at the end of the day, like, you really just have to experience it.
Yeah.
To really understand how much it stinks to go through. Because then you'll be like, fuck, wish I did not do any of that.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think that's a good time frame, and that's from like March to May.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot to be learned.
I mean, we literally did that, and then we also watched a ton of movies, a ton of just TV shows, and we just
it was
really kind of just said, like, this is a break.
Yeah, it's just because we were just such employees, like not that we're still not employees of our business, but like we were just literally like the biggest, like we try to do everything on our own. It was a nightmare. It was so bad. We talked about that last video. Like, we just tried to do, because that's how we literally, I remember us talking about that. It was like, we literally thought we had to, like, remember that? We literally thought like no one else could do this stuff that we're doing.
Oh yeah.
Like, I remember that pretty good of us saying that, like, no one can do what we're doing, like, it's too confusing, like, which is just such a bad, like, now that I look back at that, I want to smack myself in the face. That makes me
so many times.
That makes me think that
so
we were smarter than everyone. Like, makes you want to gag.
Yeah, it is bad. That's exactly what I was thinking, dude.
And what that means is we're dumber than everyone else. We're fucking way dumber than everyone else. That's what that means.
Yeah. Because the person that thinks that way is they're mistaken.
Never successful.
No.
Because their mind is like this, and then it becomes like this. No one can enter into your
why
mind.
do you think we have a democracy? Why do you think that ended up happening?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because one person is, people mess up. That's just bottom line.
That's it, yeah.
People are wrong. 100%. People can't always be right.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, I think that's a pretty good topic. Is there anything else we're missing? I mean,
I think the biggest takeaway would just be if something like this happens, to just be careful with shiny object syndrome all the time, just because there's a million and one ways that you can make money. But one thing that you need to know is that once you start with one way and you keep progressing and keep progressing and keep progressing, there's always like a certain tipping point where you really might break through, like where you might have like massive success. And if you just jump to something else, you have to start over literally completely from scratch. So for us, it's like we spent a year and a half, number one, developing a skill, number two, networking, developing relationships with people, and then number three, growing a business. So we developed a skill specific to the niche, and then we networked and created relationships with people within that niche. And then number three, created a business that had a reputation within that niche. That was like a name. Like people knew the name of our business. Yeah, brand. And so had we have gone all in on this YouTube thing and just kind of said, screw it, it's like we just erased all the progress and all the effort that we put in for the last year and a half, and basically erase all these connections that we had created, that we could be using to our advantage had we have not jumped over to the YouTube thing. So, once you start going in on one thing, you really just need to be disciplined, because that's probably the biggest difference between the most successful and the ones that are kind of successful. They're not disciplined enough to stick it out when it does get boring and tedious and it just feels like the same old thing. They somehow figure out how to stay excited and passionate and just enjoy it. The people that don't and aren't disciplined enough end up switching to something else. They've got to restart all over again, and then talk about getting burned out. Like, it's already hard enough to get one going. It's like, oh man,
it's
those
literally
are the people that they say, they're unlucky, they can't make it. It's just, you got to be super effing disciplined, because we realized the YouTube thing it's not going to be as easy as we thought it was. We thought it was going to be all sunshine and rainbows, and this is going to be so easy. We're going to kill it. And it was like, oh, that's not the reality at all.
No.
That's not the case.
Literally never is. Like, it is very hard to grow. Like, it's almost impossible to grow a business. Like, it really is. It's fucking hard.
It's very
like, you've really got to put the work in. Like, you do. And if anyone tells you don't, like, they're full of shit. Because if they do, then please tell me, because I would like to talk to them, because you're full of shit.
It requires a ton of work.
Yeah, we're not trying to intimidate you guys or anything, but it's like, if you're going in, you better go all in on one thing. And consistency and discipline.
There's nothing wrong with work. That's the thing. It's like, I used to be scared of work when I was a kid. I used to be like, oh gosh, I don't want to work. But there's nothing wrong with work. It's fun. Like, it's fun.
You enjoy
I don't consider it work. It's like a lot of fun.
Exactly. If you enjoy it,
it's gonna take a lot of effort and a lot of focus and a lot of discipline. You're gonna make it where you want if you have big dreams and big goals.
Because it's just so easy to be like, oh, I'm gonna start this new thing here, and then you're literally back at square one. You have to go back to the drawing board, figure out how to get clients, and then get results.
It's the wrong thing to do. It's just the wrong thing to do.
Yeah.
Like, we did it with the chatbots, remember?
Yeah.
It was like we forgot everything we had spent time learning and putting our ideas around, and we threw it all out the window. And it's because you think it's going to be a lot easier, and you're just, I think Alex would say, you're not in touch with reality, because the reality is it's going to be difficult. It's going to be just as difficult as what you were doing previously, bottom line. And you're going to hit the same wall that you hit with your other thing, where you feel like you're not having success and you feel like you put in so much effort and you're just not seeing any results. And then you switch to something else. But you could have been a month away from getting 10, 20, 50 clients and you just didn't even know it. Seriously.
Exactly.
Like,
You just
seriously.
get that. You literally get that dopamine rush. You're like, oh, new. And then you try to do some
Exactly.
work, you don't get any results, and then you just loop.
Yeah, and
Never
you
ending
think
cycle.
less resistance. You think it's going to be easier, and your brain's giving you all these reasons why, because you've had a hard time with what you've been doing, because it's not easy, and it's difficult if you're not putting in a ton of effort and learning from your mistakes and trying new things and really just trying to figure it out. Like it's hard.
You just got to figure out there's just so much to figure out. It's insane. Like, you just have to keep figuring shit out and keep growing past them. Like, there's just it's insane. There really is, It's like
a constant puzzle.
yeah, it's just a
That
never-ending
you're
puzzle.
always having to figure out this new piece and how
Tweak
it fits
it.
in with everything and how you can reshape it.
Exactly. It's crazy, dude. Like,
It is.
wow. It could be another video, but I think we covered a lot in this one.
Yeah.
That was a really
Just
good one.
don't switch. Don't get shiny object syndrome.
Yeah, literally just
It's not a good thing. That can keep you from ever being anything you consider like successful, or keep your business from being that.
yeah, exactly.
It's like
That's
look at
it,
any
though.
successful business. They all focused on that one thing, or like it's really it. I challenge you to find any major business or company where they just didn't have a key focus on, one market or their one product or their one service, or like I said, the one market that they really serve. They just, at least starting out, if you look at their history, at least starting out, that's really what you need to do, because
It's impossible. Yeah, you're gonna fuck yourself. Like,
it's
100%.
that serious.
It's seriously like that's the biggest. That's probably the biggest thing. Just in general, I say, like, you don't have to be smart to do this. You have to be just focused, consistent, and disciplined.
Yeah.
And that, like, really, that's you just gotta work hard.
Absolutely.
Because if you work hard at anything, you're gonna become smart at it. So
yes, exactly.
Just don't go into different paths, especially in this space. It's so easy to be like, oh, I'm going to do this niche because it's easier and there's not as much people working in it.
Like, there's so many people selling things and trying to get you to.
Like, delete your damn Facebook or whatever you have to do, but just don't go down that hole, because it literally puts you 10 steps back every time you do it.
Yes. That's probably like everyone's Achilles heel.
Especially
it is. People that are on their own, just because it's like you can just convince yourself. It's so easy to talk to yourself.
Because it's like, oh my God, a new opportunity. Then you just get so much like happiness. It's like
you
get so happy.
Say,
yeah. You just
anything
say,
that you had previously learned, you say, nope, not important. It's like literally.
Yeah. Like, I have
no
no doubt.
Work, dude. Like, I was like, forget everything I just spent the last year on. Literally.
We have,
how crazy is that?
It is. It's crazy. I mean, we have the ability to, like, I think we can literally be a very big competitor to gym launch. Like, I feel like we could beat gym launch just because, if you think about it, Alex really isn't focused all this time on it. It's like it's an opportunity.
And they're at a big scale, too. They're at such a large scale. Like, what did they say about when you grow?
Yeah, less efficient, but that could be also another topic. Oh, man. I mean, we talked about a lot of stuff.
Yeah, the biggest thing is just don't get shiny object syndrome. It's so easy to get it. It feels good, but the bottom line is that your mind convinces you of something that's not real. It's literally just not real. You tell yourself reasons why you should do it, and they're not valid. They're invalid. They're thoughts that are not valid. There's no legitimacy in those thoughts at all. They are invalid thoughts just because your brain's trying to find the path of least resistance, and it thinks that's the path of least resistance. And then your brain just comes up with all these reasons. Any small little information you've heard, your brain works it out to make it sound like it's this unbelievable opportunity and you'd be an idiot to not do it. And that's the exact same process that your brain went through that got you on to whatever it is you started on.
Yep.
You know, so you can remember thinking back to that, and then, 2-3 months in, you have no clients, or you have one client and they hate you because you didn't know how to get them resolved.
Exactly.
You know, like
seriously,
it's the exact same thing's going to happen, and it might even take longer to get one client. You know what I mean? So
yeah, it's just a never-ending cycle. That's why literally so many people try to start businesses and they're never successful. I think even Alex Becker talks about this. It's like a loop. It's like literally never-ending.
It's like the course consumers.
Yeah, it's like just delete Facebook.
You can just consume these courses all day, every day, thinking you're going to acquire this amazing skill that you're not going to have to put in much effort to create a successful business. And the bottom line is, especially in this space, is at the start and basically the whole time, the amount of effort you put in them, like the skill, like knowledge you have, especially at the start, it's like the skill and the knowledge you have really doesn't matter. The effort trumps it all. The effort in terms of trying to get new clients, like acquiring clients, like that trumps everything. You don't have to know anything. Honestly, it sounds crazy. You literally don't have to know how to get clients' results at all. You just literally get clients, and then you can start learning, because it's really not that difficult, and you can really see what other people are doing. And if you have half a brain, you don't even have to be that smart. You really don't. You just have to have your wits about you and be focused and get a client, start testing out some stuff, look at what other people are doing, and post in a couple groups, and really just go from there. Like we already talked about, find a mentor that's already gotten further than you could have ever imagined in that.
Just one, though. Don't get 5, get one. And listen and do everything they say, and don't do anything they don't. Like, don't try to reinvent the wheel. Literally do everything they fucking say word for word.
Yeah, don't be a smart ass. Don't think you're smart because you're not.
Listen. No, you're not.
You're not. No matter how smart you actually are, it doesn't matter if you have an IQ of 180. It doesn't matter. You're not smart when it comes to this area. You're not.
I mean, another thing to think about too is when you do start. I mean, this could be another topic. When you start getting results. When you do start getting results in your business, like, don't just stay focused on like one thing. We made the mistake, and this is kind of coming back to it, but we made a mistake of just being so obsessed with the service in general. And we had a different situation because we just had so many people flooding in our pipeline. But at the end of the day, if you have something that works for your clients and one of your clients has gotten good results with it, and you keep getting more and more you keep getting results to your clients, like, it works. Don't try to keep innovating. Like, you literally just need to get clients. And then once you're at a level, you have a lot of clients, that's when you can start innovating to make it better.
You can look at finding someone where it's their sole job to just innovate.
Yeah.
Try and improve that.
Exactly.
But you just need to try and get clients.
Yeah, but that's another topic. But I think that's a good video. I think we can end on that. I think that's it. So I'm going to end this video, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Let us know in the comments what you want us to talk about in the next one, and just make sure to give this video a good old like so we can share this word with any other people that you think.
We're not finished talking about, like, we only have one more video left to do, right, for our journey, I guess?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Alrighty, guys. See ya.